I mean, we're gonna be recording soon. Just clip that on in there.
Okay.
I believe we're beginning. We've been beginning for 10 whole seconds.
Well, you've already recorded?
Yep.
Are you sure the audio is coming through? You already checked?
I don't know why it wouldn't be.
Okay, the audio was coming through before?
Yeah.
Good.
I made some videos.
That's good.
They were so good.
Yeah.
I would agree. Thank you for your compliment. Are you ready?
Well, I mean, I'm looking.
Help.
I'll call that good. Sure.
That's nice. Welcome, friends and foes.
Foes.
No, that's not nice.
No? You don't
Welcome,
say
friends and possibly family.
hopefully friends.
Because, yeah.
Yeah. Strangers? They're strangers.
That's true as well.
Yeah.
Strangers.
Strangers.
This is episode 1 of PolyTalks,
Boop.
which does not reference my childhood nickname, which was Polly.
Polly want a cracker.
Yeah, a lot of that. It's not that. It's polyamory. Discussions about polyamory, how to navigate it, how to communicate well in it, how to not die in it, how to not feel like you're dying in it.
What does poly mean?
Oh, I'm assuming you know what polyamory is. This isn't that basic.
This isn't that basic,
Yeah,
guys.
I mean, it's Latin, okay? Look it up.
Yeah.
Anyway, what this video is...
Sassy.
is...
Sassy.
Is it Latin? I don't know. Oh, God. I feel like I look dumb now. Anyway.
Yeah.
This video is an introduction to us.
Us. Ha.
What's your name, sir?
Owen.
That's nice.
Yes.
Mine's Paula, not
Hello,
Polly.
Paula. Polly.
Our relationship and the ways we have successfully navigated and successfully super fucked up our
Failure.
our failures in polyamory. But at least we have experience, because that's kind of the point of making this whole channel thing happen. Improvements all the time.
All the time.
Would you like to go first?
Prompt the question, please.
Tell me. Actually, you know what? No, I will start.
There you go.
I'm gonna just briefly outline our shared history, which began in 2015 when we met on a bus. It's not gonna have this much detail the whole way through, I promise.
Okay.
We began dating monogamously after I kind of delivered a scary ultimatum of tell me what you are to me or never call me again. I believe I did that on the second date.
Yeah.
I'd like to think that I have somewhat grown from that scary dictatorial lady that I was. I think I've just kind of transferred it to other means now, but she's slowly dying. Anyway, we're going to talk about that. That initial monogamous time for us lasted about 3 months. And it was not a good time. Would you say it was a good time?
No.
It was a very stifling time.
Didn't like it.
And I think at that point, I kind of just, whenever I felt that in relationships, I would blame it on the person. I would blame it on the you person. Instead of being like, hey, maybe it's monogamy in general that makes me act like a dictator. Like someone who just isn't myself. I feel not like myself in monogamy. But anyway, that lasted for 3 months, and then we just had a big, sad breakup time where I was very mad at you and told you not to text me ever again, which didn't work well because we live in the exact same neighborhood, and so I would often see you at the grocery store buying nuts.
Yes.
You'd just be there in the aisle, and you'd be like, oh, hey.
Hello.
Eating nuts from the bag, and I'd just be like, God damn it.
Because I was very happy-go-lucky. Still am.
Yeah. So that obviously didn't let us just disappear from each other's lives. And I do imagine at this point that if there is a God in the sky with a beard, that he was laughing at that. Every time.
Spaghetti flying monster.
It's a what?
Spaghetti flying monster.
Right. It could also be that guy.
Yeah.
So that summer, we kind of just had a weird openness. It was we didn't really have a definition to us. I went on random dates with people that was also equally odd. It was just kind of up in the air. Things changed when we went on a trip together, and then we became more like a natural form of a couple. We acted monogamously for a year, right?
Yeah, ish. Just
Yeah.
under. Yeah. Maybe just about a year.
I think a little over a year. And that's because it wasn't forced. I don't think if we ever actually said, we are monogamous now. I don't think we ever defined it.
We didn't. No. After Japan, we literally told our, even before Japan, while Japan was happening, I was telling my parents, we are open. Like
Yeah.
that's just, so it's not like we might have been acting monogamous, but we were never actually ascribed to that label, because when we got back together, I was definitely under the presupposition that we were going to be okay with openness.
Right.
Yeah.
So I guess that's actually what let our monogamous actions go as long as they did, because we weren't calling ourselves that.
Yeah.
So we were okay with being together, and being together quite often for a long time, because we didn't feel like we were tied into the position under a label. We react badly to labels. So
And it's also just the way of behavior where,
it's how labels make us behave.
Sure, definitely. When I agreed to being monogamous during the first 3 months, it was the worst for me. And then equally, we haven't gotten to this part of the story yet, but when we later described ourselves monogamous because our therapist recommended that, it was also kind of a bad time.
Yes. That's coming up, folks.
Oh, cool.
So we remained in a healthy place, I think. But I feel like we became more like, oh, I know why. We became more seriously open with, like, me writing a contract. Or at least discussing one. Like, I had a verbal thing where I was very clear on so many different situations where this is how you act in this specific situation. Nothing, like, no potential stone or situation was left unexplored by my brain.
Yeah.
And so I felt very confident when I met someone who wanted to, like, date me more regularly, that we'd be fine. Because I was like, yeah, we got a fucking plan. I know exactly how to react in this situation. You text me at this time. If you don't hear a response, you do this. It was like very ABC, 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
Because that's how my brain works. And I thought, and I've also come to realize through reading a book that is now kind of my communication helper / Bible, which is called More Than Two, that's how a lot of people react in polyamory initially. They're just like, okay, yeah, we could totally do this. We just need a giant set of rules to make sure that we never feel insecure, jealous, or anything remotely scary. So it'll feel exactly like monogamy, exactly as safe, because we'll make our own institution. Whereas for monogamous people, the institution of marriage kind of has your back, and you have a whole bunch of prescribed societal rules that help you feel cozy a lot of the time. So we just made our own for polyamory, and I thought that was really smart. It's really not smart. That's another video. So we made a lot of mistakes in our first kind of few months as actively polyamorous people, like a lot of them. And so in recovery mode from those, we became prescribed monogamous again. We chose to. It was also like backed up by a transpersonal therapist that we both know and who helped us through a really rough patch with that. And that went very badly. So our next kind of experiment with monogamy went very badly. Yes. And we didn't realize until like probably 5 or 6 months in that it felt exactly like the first 3 months of us dating. Monogamy just sucks for us.
Yeah.
It makes us slowly spiral into this like psychotic pit of despair.
Did not enjoy
It's really bad. It's not enjoyable. So, that being said, what I want to ask you is, why do you choose polyamory?
Why do I choose it? I mean, it was always this feeling I had from the get-go, because I knew that two things, I guess. One, that death is inevitable, and so I hated this notion that all your eggs were in one basket, and that, we all will cycle into this despair if one person dies first. So just on a practical level, it seemed dumb. And then the second thing has to do with somewhat practical, but more even before death, you have the ongoing conversation over jealousy, and then temptation, and then exploration, and boredom, and this and that. So that emotional aspect was there, and I thought to myself, okay, maybe you just have to be like so committed to your work, which is an answer. Like that is what I've now established as, that's generally how people do it. They prioritize their work, not in an unhealthy way, but they look at any other potential distraction as a distraction, or any other connection as a distraction. Whereas for me, at least where I'm at in my life right now, I still see that as a possibility, as like a working model for monogamy, where you are so in alignment with your work and your spouse that the idea of exploring someone else genuinely feels like a distraction. Like, I don't see that from where I stand right now. I don't relate to that, but I definitely can acknowledge it as where I once thought of that as like, man, that's so dumb. Now I can see it as, okay, there's an efficiency there to a monogamous model. But yeah, so for me, I choose polyamory still as second, open relationships, because at least where I'm at when it comes to my work life and my conversational, my life with the world at large isn't one of like, I must only see you, I must only have eyes for you. I'm like, this is crazy. I can't just have eyes for one person. I mean, equally, for anyone who's still exploring polyamory, I don't have eyes for the world, because that's equally crazy. So it's not an extreme one or an extreme other. Because anytime I share this with my friends, they all say to me like, so you just want her to get the D, or you just want to fuck everyone? I'm just like, no, to both counts. Which they're like, well, what? And then there's actually a conversation if they're really curious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is kind of, yeah, for sure. Polyamory is, if anything, limiting your pool of potential mates down to like a small, tiny, insular fraction of the human race.
Yeah.
It actually makes your selection so tiny. So if you're in it for just orgies, just go to an actual orgy.
Yeah.
So for me, I have a practical side of my brain that really needs to be fulfilled, and also a control aspect. I used to think control would come out in relationships just in the sense of like getting the person to do exactly what you want to do. I didn't know that's what I was doing, but that's how I would treat like past people. Thank you for your comments. Polyamory is actually about conscious lifestyle design, though. Every part of your life can be what you want it to be. It doesn't have to be anything to do with society. That being said, some people might find that the societal model, like the typical model that you might think of when you watch a Disney movie or look at the American Dream, that might actually be the best thing for you. That's awesome. Pick that. But I just want to make sure that every part of my life, so business life and as well relationship life, because I find the process of making relationships so interesting, I want to make sure I actually do it all consciously. I know exactly what kind of needs my partner has. I know how they spend their time, what they want from their work life. Same with myself. I know all of those things. I know like how much time I can spend with someone, where I'll be living, who I'll be living with, which probably is me. It opened up my eyes when I heard about polyamory to the idea that polyamory isn't just one way as an alternative to monogamy. It's not just one way to have relationships. Polyamory is an overarching term that describes literally millions of different ways to have relationships. It's like a limitless lifestyle. Mm-hmm. There is no cap on it. It's crazy awesome. It just feels like liberating as hell.
Crazy awesome.
Crazy awesome.
What makes it crazy awesome?
Because it's personalized. I love anything that's personalized because I love people being their unique selves, standing up for that, and being able to talk about it really clearly. And that's kind of what polyamory is when everyone who is in it with you is healthy and on a stable footing. So yeah, the control thing, that's how I feel control is healthiest now in my life, is just conscious decisions everywhere as often as possible. And what was the other thing I said? I said control and some other thing. Can't remember. But lifestyle design is definitely why I do it.
Cool. Was there something else you wanted to touch on in this first episode?
That is episode 1 of PolyTalks.
That's episode 1.
The next episode is going to be about control more so, because I want to go back to that instance that we talked about where I had a contract, and I want to talk about what it actually takes to make someone feel safe in polyamory.
Cool. Tune in for the next episode, dude.
It's coming very soon. You gonna edit this part out?
You gonna edit this part out? Maybe. Don't know.
To be honest?
Yeah.
Not sure if the video is still recording.
Let's check. You should go check.
I'm nervous to check, because what if it hasn't?
Then you do it again.
Oh my god.
Yeah. It's really not that difficult.
It's not?
No. This is the great thing about today's digital age. You can do it again.
Right.
This isn't the